Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we have a good one here. It is race number 9 of the Winston Cup Series with the 802 iRacing League here at Iowa Speedway. It is the Corn Harvester 160 here tonight. So drivers getting ready to do battle for quite a few laps at pretty much their first time here at kind of a short track style racetrack here for the series. Of course, last time they were at kind of a similar kind of tough short track. It was last week's winner, Jeff Pogo, picking up the win at Rockingham. We'll see if the 97 can get the job done here tonight as practice is wrapping on up. Right now it is Johnny Barker sitting at the top of that timing table, Rob Lowell in second, and then Tyler Bellinger rounds out the top 3 here, and we get ready to head over to qualifying here tonight. Of course, just like we've seen all season long, going to be 2 laps for each driver during qualifying. We'll take the best of the 2 laps, and that will set tonight's starting grid here tonight at Iowa. So we will wait and see who will be some of the first cars out on pit road. It looks like one of the first will be the driver that was quickest in practice. It is the number 6 machine here we're taking a look at Johnny Barker. Barker, of course, with the most ever poles in the league. We'll like to add another one here tonight as we take a look at the 6 car here as he goes on the clock here at Iowa. And if you guys are a fan of Iowa Speedway here on iRacing, you can tell this place looks a little bit different. Of course, with the NASCAR 25 game, this place kind of got a facelift done on it. Looks a lot more like it currently looks out there in the cornfields of Iowa. As Barker, lap number 1, good enough for P. Number 2, a 22.81 from the 6 machine here on lap number 1. Right now, best time, though, is the driver of the number 3 machine, Tim Rogers. Rogers with a 22.69, so we'll see if Barker can pick up about 2/10 here on lap number 2. Barker across the stripe for the final time does find some time, a 22.65 for the 6 machine. That will put him on provisional pole so far here tonight. 16 drivers here ready to make the start here, and we will take a look here now at the 29 machine. This is Devin McCaffrey. McCaffrey just completed lap number 1. He will slot into P number 8, a 22.81 for the 29 machine. So, and it seems like it's kind of hit or miss if a driver picks up on lap number 2. As we see Jeff Pogo do just that. He will go quick time of 22.57 for the 97 machine. The 29 car across the stripe for the final time looks like will be same exact lap time of 22.81. So Devin here has consistency for the race, that's for sure. Now we take a look here at Aiden Tatro. Tatro here, it looks like lap number 1 will slot him into P number 9 here in the 24 machine. We'll see if he can improve here on lap number 2. No, he cannot. He got tight there off of turn number 2. Had a lot of wheel in it, then went to kind of correct. That car snapped around into the outside wall. So the qualifying attempt will be done. And it looks like Aiden just going to be able to squeak into the top 10 here, as we only have 2 cars yet to take a time so far. It is Cody Meadows and Dan Holcroft. So now we're up to 17 cars here tonight. As how we doing out there, Roger? Yeah, I tell you what, this place is a handful, especially with these next-gen cars. I mean, already so little side force with the tire profile without any kind of aero assist with skew in the body or anything like that. So these drivers are going to have a handful here tonight to keep these race cars underneath them from slipping and sliding, because the fast guys will be on the throttle early. The question is, how early are you willing to push it before you step over that limit and end up paying the price. As we do get another car out here on the Speedway. Looks like the 88 car of Dan Holcroft will attempt a lap here tonight. So the 88 goes on the clock here in Iowa, and looks like the last car to do so, Meadows, still not out to the racetrack, so he may start deep in yet another race here. As Holcroft lap number 1 here in the books, we will wait to see what he will slot in. Looks like a 22.89. That will only be 14th quick. So as we can tell, field within half a second of each other from 1st to 16th. So very, very close times tonight here at Iowa. As Holcroft here will look for a little bit more pace on lap number 2. Looks like he's carrying more speed off of 4. Let's see where he will go to. It looks like we'll actually slow down to 22.96 for the 88 machine. So with that, practice wraps on up, and we got to give the pole award here tonight to the 97 machine. Last week's winner, Jeff Pogo, going to be leading the field to the green flag. And I tell you what, Pogo was able to do that, I believe, last week and win. Yes, he did. So we'll see if he can do it twice in a row here tonight as we get ready to head down trackside to go through tonight's starting lineup. And we also got to give Jeff a big shout out to the Riptide Radio Pole Award here tonight. So here we go tonight, folks. The Corn Harvester 160 starting lineup will look like the following. Jeff Pogo in the 97 machine, looking to go 2 in a row here tonight. To his outside, the driver that finished runner-up last week. He will start to the outside of his teammate. It is the 4 car of Jim Ott. Then we head to row number 2, starting on the inside, rolling off P number 3. That will be the 6 car of Johnny Barker. Tyler Bellinger in the 99. He had some pace in practice, backs it up here in qualifying. Bellinger will start in P number 4. Then we head to round out the top 5 for the starting order, and that's going to the 3 car of Tim Rogers. Then in P number 6, that will be the 1 car of Brandon Guerin. Starting in 7th is the 21 of Rob Lowell. Rolling off 8th is Devin McCaffrey in the 29 machine. Aiden Tatro in the 24 will start in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 here is Chris Proger in that number 7 machine. And I had to admit my mistakes when I make them, but I was saying Proger's sponsor all wrong last week. It wasn't body armor, it was bodyguard, so that's a safety line for Fastenal. So he's got bodyguard on the car of the number 7. Eli Raposa in the 46 machine here will roll off 11th. 12th going to the 8 car of Kip Easley. 13th will be Seth Morrison in the 5. Dan Holcroft will roll off 14th. Connor Patton will roll off in 15th. 16th going to Reba Caton. And then starting shotgun on the field here tonight is the 19 machine of Cody Meadows. We, of course, got to thank GStone Motors as well as Stone Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, of course, BG Graphix and Riptide Radio, all partnering with the 802 iRacing League. So the field getting the 1 to go signal next time by. We will turn them on loose and get ready for 187 laps here tonight at Iowa Speedway. It may seem like a lot of laps. It will be for these drivers, but lap times under 30 seconds, so this race should get up and over with at a decent time, maybe even before the Snowball Derby starts, because that place still trying to dry the track there. So looking a lot sunnier here in Iowa as we wait for the iRacing pace car to head down pit road. That'll do so now. Jeff Pogo in control here of the start. Pogo will fire off right at the beginning of the box, and we go green flag racing here at Iowa. Pogo down and away by himself out in front, then side-by-side battle for second here as Johnny Barker currently trying to work to the inside of Jim Ott, trying to use that kind of different concrete cement to get that car rotated. Ott will have a good run here down the front straightaway, and Ott should be able to clear Barker. He does for a moment. Barker, though, drives it in there deep, just doesn't quite have the center speed as the 4 car up in that higher lane. Right behind them, Tyler Bellinger and Tim Rogers side by side. Rogers up top in that 3 machine. The 99 of Bellinger down low here in the monster machine. Those two will get themselves sorted out here for at least the time being. A little bit further on back, Devin McCaffrey trying to move on up in the 29. He will get around the 1 car, Brandon Guerin. So Guerin may lose a few spots just by starting on the outside row. But I think that 1 car says, you know what, I have a gut feeling it may be a long run here tonight. We're going to go mind our P's and Q's here at the start and be there at the end when it counts. Speaking about Chris Proger, it looks like he has a new paint scheme on the 7 machine. Has Fastenal on the side and the hood of that thing, so that thing's looking pretty sporty here. I do like that white and especially that reflective blue, so Chris out here rocking a really nice paint scheme as he gets around the 29 right there as well. So it looks like 29 may say, you know what, if you want to go for it, we'll give you the top side. We're only 5 laps into this thing, still a long way to go here tonight. A little bit deeper in the field here, Connor Patton getting around the 30 machine of Aruba Caton. Caton now under fire from Cody Meadows. So Meadows, another one of those drivers, knowing he's got the really tough decision here to either ride on around from here on out and really kind of wait for the cars in front of him to come on back to him, which seems like that is kind of the strategy he's doing. Or the alternate strategy then is to push right now, try and get as much track position, and then see where he can hold on to by the time that first green flag pit stop hits. But right now it seems like Meadows opting for option number 1, gonna wait for the cars in front of him kind of to fall on back to him, and then we'll try and pick them off one by one. Out in front though, very similar sight to what we saw last week at Charlotte. Jeff Pogo out in front, currently pacing the field over his teammate Jim Ott. These two running 1-2, it seemed like a lot last week. Kicking off here tonight, starting the exact same. Johnny Barker though up there in the mix as well. So Barker's another one of those drivers very good on a long run here. So we'll have to see how this 6 car kind of builds, if it either builds a little on the tight side or the loose side. As right here we see Barker still working that inside lane. That's a good sign that the 6 car is still driving how Barker is wanting it to drive. Kip Easley here on the move on the 29 machine. Kip outside there of that 29 car in the 8. It looks like Easley will get clear. Now sets his sights on Proger right in front of him. Side-by-side battle for that position will kick on off as right in front of them, Tim Rogers will let the 21 machine of Rob Loeb get on by. So that moves the 21 machine into the top 5 for the first time here tonight. Ooh, a little close there on corner exit. Kip Easley right there at the left rear quarter panel of the 7 machine. Maybe had to wait for the throttle just a split second. You saw he lost about a car length to a car length and a half there just down the back straightaway. So right here the battle's starting to heat on up here as a lot of cars starting now to catch the back bumper of this number 7 machine. So I would say let's ride on board with the 7, looking back at these cars as Kip Easley tries to get around Chris Proger here. And you can see Proger right there kind of straddling between the concrete and the asphalt in 3 and 4. that can sometimes help the car rotate with either putting the tire right on the seam, and that can kind of either give you more grip or less grip depending on what you need. And then of course the two different compounds wear the tires a little bit differently, so we might see Chris Proger trying to maybe use up a little bit more of those left sides versus the right there on the asphalt patching versus the concrete track. As now we see Kip easily to the inside of the number 7 machine, but that 7 has some really good runs up in that second lane here tonight. Chris Proger still rocking and rolling lane number 2 and keeping at some good pace there as well. As you saw there last time by 23.85, just 100th off of his best time of the night. Further up towards the front though, Johnny Barker around Jim Ott, same with Tyler Bellinger, so both those cars around Ott. So Ott's car looking clean, so maybe just had a little bit of a bobble, or maybe says, you know what, that pace still isn't what we like to see here, as they are guessing it's going to be a long green flag run. And here at Iowa, the calamity happens right on the starts usually with cold tires at this point here, unless you know something kind of big happens to a driver. I think this race could go green to checkered here tonight. We head on back to this about 4-car battle out here on the Speedway. Deeper in the field, Dan Holcroft getting around Seth Morrison for the 14th position as that battle goes on, as we watch, like I said, this 4-car battle here. Seeing Kip Easley still trying to work over this 7 machine. Has been working on him now for about 5 laps or so, as once again those two will go side by side here tonight at Iowa. Yeah, Easley just doesn't have that straightaway speed that second lane and that 7 car has. But he has yet to give it on up here. Still going back to the bottom side. Won't have the chance this time, because here comes the 29 of Devin McCaffrey. He will go to the inside of Easley. Those two will go side by side now off of 4. So McCaffrey might try his hand at running that inside lane. Going to try and get around both of them. As Proger way up the racetrack there. I think may have missed his marks. Got him a little bit too hot. That car washed away from him. And up the racetrack, that 7-car win. Looks like we'll regroup and regain his composure, though. We'll lose a spot to Brandon Guerin as well, as a 1 machine able to get back to P number 9 now. As now we'll get to see what kind of pace Easley has compared to McCaffrey, as those two will try and separate or close up to each other. As next car in front of them sits the 3-car of Tim Rogers. Rogers, of course, having some kind of funding and mechanical issues here to start the season with the Cup cars, but overall he's able to get back out there on the Speedway and running pretty well, it seems, as he is trying to get to grips once again with these NASCAR next gen cars. As right in front of them, Rob Lowell now running down Jim Ott. Those two going to be the closest cars on the Speedway to each other, so let's ride on board with the 21 machine and see how he can get around Jim Ott here. As you see there, Rob Lowe, big time tires spin. You heard those tires squealing there on the 21 machine, so we'll see if he can run him back down. Let's ride on board with the Jaws music playing with the 21 machine. That right there, folks, is a quick lap here around the Iowa Speedway as Rob Lowell continued trying to run down that 4 machine of Odd. Further on back here, the 5 machine and the 88 once again side by side here as Seth Morrison going to try and re-get around the 88 as both those cars side by side down the front straightaway, but leader's gonna get close to about a half a track in front of them here, so by the end of this green flag run, these guys could be in trouble of becoming 1 lap down here. A little bit deeper in the field here, Cody Meadows inside the top 10 for the first time here tonight. Meadows up into 10th here as Aiden Tatro and Chris Proger goes side by side right behind them. Sits the 37 machine of Connor Patton. Patton didn't have the qualifying he probably wanted there in the 37 machine. Going to try and get some spots here during race time. Going to have a lot of opportunity to do just so because still over 150 laps left in this one here tonight. As Tatro up top, Peyton down on the low side here. Right in front of them, Chris Proger sits in that 7 machine. Tatro across the nose of Patton. Wow, what a save by the 24 machine there. As, yeah, I think the 24 maybe saw the 7 car lifting really early. Maybe he had to crank that car down to the left side, maybe trying to avoid him there, and then Connor Patton had the nose to the inside. That could have been very bad, but looks like for the time being they will get themselves sorted out. But yeah, it seems like the 7 car kind of struggling with the pace. You got to wonder, was that running that second lane there, those opening stint, did that hurt the handling of this 7 machine? Further up towards the front here, Rob Lowell, Jim Ott now once again side by side. Lowell will complete the pass in one corner. A power move there, but I don't think Ott really fought it too hard as well, as those guys will pick different lanes. Ott will try and stay in some of the clean air there through the corner as Rob Lowell up to P number 4. Now going to set his sights on the 99 machine, who sits a comfortable P number 3 here at the moment. Bellinger here started in 4th here, made up 1 spot at the start, has been kind of riding on around, clicking off the laps here tonight. Of course, last week was able to finish up on the podium in P number 3, so gonna match his best finish of the season so far here tonight, currently running in that 3rd position, though about 2 seconds up in front of him sits Johnny Barker and Jeff Pogo. Barker starting to reel in our race leader just a little bit, within 3 car lengths of each other now. So Barker with a little bit lower entry into 1. Pogo a much more gentle arc from later in the corner. Both drivers though pretty even, I would say. Pogo a little bit better in 1 and 2. Barker able to make up a lot of time on entry into 3. And that's where Barker's making up his time. So it seems like the advantage in 1 and 2 goes to the 97 car. Though in 3 and 4, Johnny Barker seems to have that thing figured out. Barker, yeah, is sending it into the corner a little bit deeper than the 97 machine. That time gets a good run off of the corner within 2 car lengths now. So Barker's starting to put some pressure on our race leader. Jeff Pogo having a car in that rear view mirror, kind of the closest it's been so far here tonight. This time by now we'll have about a $150 left in this one here for the amount of laps. So far since the drop of the green flag, have had 0 cautions here out on the speedway, as now it seems like Jeff Pogo starting to turn on the afterburners just a little bit. starting to drive away from the 6 car, Johnny Barker, now within half a second. Barker in jeopardy of losing some draft here down the front straightaways. And it looks like that will be the case here down the back straightaway. Barker 5.5 tenths here on back from our race leader, as it looks like the 30 machine of Caden will get up and out of the way, and the 30 car will be the first car 1 lap down here at Iowa. Oh, as we get our first caution here of the evening, and it looks like our 3rd place driver, Tyler Bellinger in the 99 machine, slow on the front straightaway. As we see Bellinger already out of sorts here off of turn number 4. Looks like he will try and hang on to that race car. We'll spin it on down here on the apron, so we'll try and back it up a little bit more, and then contact between the 21 and the 99 will get the 99 car up and out of sorts, and that's the limited grip I'm talking about here in the next gen cars. I mean, just a little bit of wheel spin and you're almost guaranteed to be just hanging on for the ride, as he does a nice job of getting that thing locked on down, keeping it out of harm's way down on the bottom side. As we'll try and here maybe look one more time here at the incident, see if we can see what happened. As Rob Lowell gets a great corner entry, we'll get to the inside of the 99, and I know if it was just very close racing, a little bit of aero or a little bit of net code, but very, very tight racing, resulting in the 99 going on around to bring out our first caution. So everyone down on pit road here tonight. So we'll go to the end of pit road, see who will win the race off of pit road, as we keep an eye here on Jeff Pogo, the first car right there in the pit order. Looks like 4 fresh Goodyear tires on the 97 machine, going to fill it on up. He will win the race off of pit road. Then it's Johnny Barker, Rob Lowell, Jim Ott, and Kip easily rounding out the top 5. So it looks like no harm, no foul really for anyone. Just a single car spin there. Contact with 2 cars, but overall no real damage to anyone. So everyone that has taken the green flag still out on the speedway here. As now these drivers have new tires, they can kind of reassess their game plan, see how they were feeling both on the long run and the short run here. So you can see where their tires are kind of wearing, what kind of percentages, and then from that info maybe try and change a little bit how they're driving. But out in front, it is Jeff Pogo. Pogo's going to have choose here at the start-finish line. Rest of the field going to double on up, and it looks like Pogo going to choose the inside lane as we get ready to go back racing next time by. As here we go, the field re-racked, restacked as we're ready to get back to green flag racing. Our racing pace car heads down pit road, and once again, Jeff Pogo in control. Pogo on the loud pedal here, and we go green flag racing once again here at Iowa. Johnny Barker going to be able to clear there for second. So now the side-by-side battle between Jim Ott and Rob Lowe. Looks like Ott will take that position here, as Lowe now about to be swallowed up from Guerin and Kip easily if he's not careful. Lowe going to be able to hang on to that third position for the time being. Further on back, 3 wide here as Cody Meadows will take it to the bottom side. Man, I tell you what, sorry about that there, folks. That speed cam is loud here tonight. As I was saying before, 3 wide for a second. Looks like Tim Rogers going to come out kind of the worst end of things. We'll see how that 3 car can recover here as Connor Patton able to get on by. Now we'll try and put some pressure on the 29 of Devin McCaffrey. Further up towards the front here, Brandon Guerin trying to work over that 21 machine. Those two will be side by side, and now Brandon Guerin, I thought was going to be able to get clear. Maybe not quite this time. Now he does, now he doesn't, as these guys in a great battle right here for position. Jim Ott's going to have to be careful here as well, because if he allows that one car to get to that right rear quarter panel, Guerin could then maybe try and get around that Ford machine. Out in front though, Johnny Barker putting a lot of pressure once again on Jeff Pogo for that race lead. So those two nose to tail right in front of these guys. And I think with lap 50 here in the books, I say we go turn it on over to our first turn 3, turn it up of the evening. Alrighty, we are back here at Iowa Speedway. Out in front though, Jeff Pogo still leading the way over Johnny Barker, though now Jim Ott has started to join in the battle in that 4 machine. So Ott trying to make it a 3-car battle for that race lead. Here, the 99 car trying to work his way back up through the field. Remember, was involved in that first caution right when he was running MP number 3. So this 99 machine has some good speed here tonight, but currently trying to drive back through the field here. And speaking about driving through the field, Cody Meadows has done that for the first portion of the race here tonight. Meadows started 17th in this one, up to P number 7. So by far the biggest mover of the night is the 19 machine, as he is up 10 positions and maybe looking for more as the 2 cars in front of him continue to be racy. Kip Easley, Rob Lowell, And you could even maybe throw in there Brandon Guerin, who is trying to run away and hide from those two cars behind him. Easily now putting a lot of pressure here on our race leader. I believe we do have a roof cam here on the 8 car. Let's take a look at that here. Trying to run down that pink 21 machine right in front of him. Easily a little bit lower through the apex. And that allows him to get on the throttle kind of early, kind of get that thing pointed a little bit sooner to where he wants. And easily now to the inside of the 21. Those two will be side by side off of turn number 2 here, as we should see the nose of the 21. Yep, just for a split second there on the right side. That gives me a sign that easily should be able to clear, as now here comes Rob Lowe with a big run here down on the top side. Rob will throw it in there deep, let the car kind of slide on up. Once it stops sliding, then jumps right back on the throttle. Looks like may get a piece of the outside wall there on corner exit. It looks like Kip easily there through that middle. You can see that's where the time the inside lane works makes up. And here comes Rob Lowe with the crossover. He's going to try the bottom side. Looks like the little tight from the 21 machine couldn't get that thing quite turned where he wanted to. As now here comes now Cody Meadows in the mix as well. Meadows able to get to the outside of that 21 machine right there as he tried the crossover. Looks like Meadows now up into 6th. Gonna try and get 5th away from Kip Easley here. So Easley, just as he went on the attack, he's gonna have to get on the defense here to the 19 machine. Meadows gonna try that outside lane here in 3 and 4. Gonna cut it on down to that bottom side, get a very nice and low exit there off of turn number 4. That's kind of the name of the game here at Iowa. These walls just come up so quick and you're trying to carry a lot of speed, as you see Meadows there get a little bit tight and have to chase that car all the way up to the wall. And that's the tricky part about this place, because you get on the throttle too early, you blow up that right front, man, you are heading straight to that outside wall. Whereas if you have too much wheel or get on it too hard, then that car breaks traction in the rear end and then you're spinning down low. So that's the kind of tiptoeing you have to do around Iowa Speedway to be fast, is try and figure out that center speed and corner off. As Kip Easley now starting to put some pressure on Brandon Guerin. Out in front though, Jeff Pogo currently walking on away from Johnny Barker once again. Last time by, Jeff Pogo 24.14, Johnny Barker 24.06. We'll keep an eye this time by. It looks like a 24.23 from Pogo and a 1.5 from Barker. So Barker last 2 laps has looked better than our race leader though, as we get a caution here on the speedway. One car stopped on the front stretch. That is Eli Raposa. Raposa with some damage on both the front and back end there of the 46 machine. And it looks like maybe the 7 of Chris Proger. Proger involved in this one as well. And it sounds like maybe the 7 machine not the happiest here with this one. So we will take a look, see what happened to bring out our second caution flag of the evening. As we take a look here at the 7 machine of Proger, just going down the front straightaway, kind of going. Some smoke in front of him. Then Eli Raposa. Oh man, Proger was guessing that the 46 was going to be up to the top side and guessed wrong there. Makes pretty heavy contact with the 46 machine. You can see that's where all that right side damage to the 7 machine happens. As Raposa, that explains both ends of that race car kind of wounded on that one. So we'll take a look here, and it looks like just a single car incident here as Raposa trying to walk that tightrope on corner exit. Will lose a race car late in the corner. And then, yeah, you can see here's the last second move by the 7 and just clipping it because Proger really couldn't aim any lower because you see this inside front stretch wall kind of closes on up with that kind of front stretch access road. So Proger really had nowhere else to kind of aim once he committed to the bottom side there. So our second caution of the evening, right about 20 laps on these tires, so definitely still enough life left on these for these drivers not to come down pit road. It looks like only a few cars down on pit road trying to get some damage repaired. As it looks like we do get a chance to talk with one of the drivers involved in this one. Looks like the 7 machine of Chris Proger going to be available to chat with here, so we'll try and get a word with the driver of the 7 machine. Chris, you got a copy. It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey Brett, how's it going?
Oh man, I'm sure probably better than what you're feeling. Chris, what'd you see there?
I saw somebody not hold their damn brakes. Sorry, not hold their brakes and roll down, and I had nowhere else to go. Like I did everything I could to avoid them.
Yeah, and
I'm so mad, so mad.
Yeah, and it was definitely a tough break for you there, Chris, because like you said, you had nowhere to go. You committed to guessing the bottom, then the 46 car rolls down there, and you couldn't go any lower because that front stretch pit road wall you would have clobbered that instead of the 46 there.
Catch the grass, catch the wall. It was day done.
Yeah,
so
is your damage done?
Race. I mean, my wheel, like I'm going straight, wheels at 6 o'clock. So there's so much damage. I'm calling it a night. There's not much I can do to really recover from that. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a tough break there for you, man, because it seemed like you had some decent speed here at Iowa, qualified inside the top 10 there, but it seemed like the car may be going away on handling for you. Did it feel like that first run?
First run, I was dogging it. I was absolutely pushing the car. I was running the high side just to see what I could do with it, and I was burning up the right front like nobody's business. Massive tire wear after like 40 laps. So I knew I was using that one as kind of an experiment.
Green flag,
Second run, I was laid back. I mean, my tires, even with the spin, were about 80% on the right side. So, I mean, I was matching leader speed and saving tire, planned on pitting like lap 110 and getting tires there and go from there. But, oh well.
Yeah, sadly, that plan won't come to fruition, man. And hopefully
no, it will not.
Hopefully some luck turns on around for you, man, because, man, it seems like you and some of your teammates are having no luck here. Of course, next week we're at Kentucky. How are you feeling about that place?
Kentucky's good. Race there in another league Wednesday night, full send. So, yeah, I've done a bunch of laps over Kentucky, had a decent finish, and fourth place last week got me into the no-bill this week. Well, it's not happening for next week, but try and get in Kentucky.
Yeah, I tell you what, off a career best 4th place last week at Charlotte. You're of course one spot out from an interview, but man, that 7 machine looked pretty sporty. How'd you feel at the end of that one?
It was a solid race. I really enjoyed it. Lapping and everything like that was, it was good. It was a good, solid race. I enjoyed it. Charlotte always puts on a good race.
Yeah, as we get calamity out on the Speedway, somehow Cody Meadows hangs on to that race car. And yeah, Chris, before we let you go, as more cars sideways as Meadow gets into Bellinger, man, it's going down right there out there on the Speedway, Chris. Woo! Sorry about that, man. I had to make a call for a second. But yeah, before we let you go, man, and yeah, sadly retire out of this one. Of course, I think there's some people you got to want to give a shout out to, whether sponsors or anyone watching.
Well, I just want to say thank you to Fastenal for 8 wonderful years. First of the year, I will be starting with a new company, so you're going to see a new paint scheme, and yeah, it's going to be it's a wonderful start. So I'm excited. You know, it's bittersweet. I love working for Fastenal, but I could not say no to this opportunity. So.
Yeah, for sure, man. And yeah, last week I thought you were sponsored by Body Armor for some reason.
Body
of
Armor.
course, it was Bodyguard.
Yeah, Bodyguard is our safety line, and then Ormatis is our in-house brand as well. So.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Chris, hopefully your luck turns on around next week, but we plan to see you next week at Kentucky, man. So have a good rest of your week.
See you later. Yeah, I'll be watching the rest of the broadcast. Have a great night.
Alrighty, awesome. You too, Chris.
Thanks.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was Chris Proger down there from the Infield Care Center. And yeah, how about some craziness out on the racetrack there? Man, that got intense for a second as Johnny Barker puts the nose to the 19 machine. Then the 19 of Cody Meadows gets into Tyler Bellinger. Man, I don't know how all the cars kind of saved their stuff from that, but Meadows currently running in the 6th position. I think with a little bit of damage to that race car. We saw Meadows kind of run up Barker there on the start. Yeah, I wonder if he was kind of giving it back to how he was raced before or whatnot. But here comes Meadows once again trying to track down the 29. And then that 6 car sits right in front of them as well. Speaking about the 99 of Bellinger here, seems like that car still has some decent speed, currently trying to work over Connor Patton for the 9th position here. So Bellinger up top, Patton down low here. Those two will work 2 by 2 out in front though. We saw Jim Ott take over the point. Ott took tires on that last pit stop, so that Ford machine is rocking and rolling with that set of tires, as Bellinger will get clear there. So the 99 continues to work his way up towards the front here. Speaking about up towards the front, about a 4-car battle and shaping on up here. Johnny Barker and Devin McCaffrey go side by side here. McCaffrey into the top 5 for the first time here tonight. He will try and take 4th on away from the 6 car. Looks like he'll do that as, oh, Cody Meadows, a big time moment there off of turn number 4. Wow, I don't know if he got neck code or if that car just broke traction. Then he had a heck of a slide off of 4, had some wheel to the right. That thing hooked up on the left sides, and he made big time contact to that outside wall. We'll have to see if the car is all right on the 19 machine, but right now the pace definitely not there. We'll have to give him a few laps to get back up to song, but wow, a big time moment. If Cody Meadows can continue and finish this race, that may be the save of the race there, as Tim Rogers will lose 2 spots there, get up into the marbles in the 3 machine. But out in front for the first time here tonight, Jim Ott currently pacing the field, and very similar field to Charlotte, as it was Jeff Pogo leading the first about 40 laps. Then Jim Ott decides to kind of do the alternate strategy call, take some tires. He will lead a lot of the middle field, and then at the end of it, it could be a heads-up race once again between Pogo and Ott, just like what we saw last week at Charlotte. Kip Easley now putting a lot of pressure on Johnny Barker, so these guys battling it out for a top 5 spot here. P number 5 up for grabs here, as Easley will try and force that 6 car to a mistake. As Easley once again, man, he can get a good run from that low exit and will do that off at 2, get to the inside of the 6 car, so side by side for position, as Barker will probably let him go at this point. And you can see Johnny Barker actually, we'll take a look a little bit closer if we can, but some right front damage on the nose of the 6 car that's right on board with Easley looking at back, and you can see that splitter kind of tweaked and that fender pushed on in. So Johnny Barker dealing with a damaged race car. I think that came from the contact with the 19, unless the 6 car got the wall at some point after that. As yeah, the 19 of Cody Meadows, speaking about that car, he is down on pit road, so it looks like Meadows might call it a night here tonight. Out in front, Jim Ott pacing the field with those fresh tires here. He is the only really car that came down on that last caution flag to take tires, and right now going to grow it out to almost a 5-second advantage over Jeff Pogo. I mean, the time advantage not too crazy. Let's say Jim Ott last time by at 24.12. Jeff Pogo across the stripe 24.26. But then further on back, you know, it starts to get a little bit bigger depending if cars are in traffic. Though we will look at our race leader this time by, because it is cross flags here, halfway down, halfway home, in the Corn Harvester 160 here tonight at Iowa. Rob Lowell was able to complete that pass fairly easily on the 3 car of Rogers. So I'll move Rob Lowell back into P number 9 here tonight. Now Dan Holcroft here trying to run down the 3 machine of Rogers. So Holcroft started deeper in the field here tonight. He's trying to get up into the top 10 for the first time, as Rogers way up the racetrack once again. You got to wonder, is the 3 car having an issue, because that car way up the speedway multiple times up in the marbles, and it just seems like it's not driving how he wants. As we get our first taker down on pit road, it looks like Johnny Barker will be the first here on 96. Man, and it would be very close if someone can make it from here on fuel, but this season, I think it's 80% fuel in their cars. I know I'll probably get yelled at for not knowing 100 or 80%, but it's something around there. It would be very tough to make it from here on out on fuel, but if Johnny Barker can, and you know, if he was losing pace, I would say, yeah, that is the move to come down sooner rather than later. As McCaffrey and Easley start to work on a battle here, those two may have to think about if they want to kind of race each other or try and track down that 1 car, Guerin, right in front of them. Guerin, of course, our 3rd place driver here at the moment, but it could all change depending on how this battle behind them goes, because if these two get battling for a while, Guerin could probably run on away a little bit, and then as soon as he, you know, loses some time once they get themselves figured out, then shoot down pit road if needed. As we click on over for our first triple digits of the night, Tim Rogers here, slow off of turn number 2. I think, yeah, Rogers having some sort of issue here tonight. That thing is way off the pace currently, so I think Rogers may be trying to get to pit road here sooner rather than later. Another car down on pit road, Rob Lowell, right here at 100. He is down on pit road for his first green flag pit stop of the night. So as cars are kind of spread on out on the racetrack here, let's take a look at the track map on the right side of our screen. Our race leader, Jim Ott, just coming off of turn number 4. And yeah, we see Rogers still actually out on the racetrack here, but still kind of very, very slow way down there now on the access road. So Rogers definitely keeping it out of harm's way, but definitely an issue on the 3 machine, as it looks like Rob Lowell will come on out on the backstretch. Of course, 1 lap down. He'll make that 2 laps down, as Johnny Barker will get back to 1 lap down there. And you can see the speed difference of tires. Johnny Barker just off of pit road. He is absolutely flying around the racetrack. Last time a 23.56, where the leaders are 24.5. So each lap that goes by Johnny Barker's making up a second a lap. Tim Rogers able to get that race car down to pit road. Same with Aiden Tatro. Tatro's down on pit road for his first green flag stop of the night. Looks like no quite service of tires on the 24 machine, so we'll have to see. Tatro might have gotten busted for speeding on pit road. It looks like that is the case here, being held in his pit stall. So that is a tough break for the 24. We'll probably go multiple laps down with that penalty here tonight. Jim Ott last down on pit road on 68, so at this point can probably make it to 120. He is good for a 1 stop from here on out. Jeff Pogo, though, last down on 41, can probably, we'll have to see when he comes on down. If he can make it, if Jeff Pogo can make it to about 110 to 115, he could probably make it then on fuel. So I think that's what a lot of these guys are committed to. Gonna try and 1 stop it. Maybe Johnny Barker, Rob Lowe gonna try the 2 stopper here with them coming down on pit road so early. See a battle for position here. Connor Patton able to get around Tyler Bellinger. So Patton up to 6th here with the green flag pit stops underway. Right now, the best driver in that situation is Johnny Barker, though. He has to get around the 30 machine to be in the lucky dog spot. That would be the ultimate for that 6, as he is closed on to the back bumper. As actually, no, he is about 3/4 of a track away from the 30 machine. As I think Hayden, yeah, just went a lap down just a few laps ago. So Tim Rogers sits right behind our race leader. Of course, Rogers on those fresher tires here, so we'll be able to get around the leader here very quickly and should be very easily on up in lane number 2, just trying to maybe see what's up there. As you can see, just the speed of new tires able to go kind of anywhere out on the racetrack, as now the 5 car of Seth Morrison under fire to go 1 lap down here. Morrison, it looks like, will lose the lap there off at turn number 2, so that puts at least 4 cars 1 lap down. As now with the 5 car going 1 lap down, he will duct to pit road. I like the call there, trying to regain some time with some fresh tires compared to some of the other runners. And by 110, you should be able to make it to the end of this one, because these guys already have about 80 laps done on their fuel tank. Devin McCaffrey, Connor Patton, both down on pit road here, so they will both move to their pit boxes. Jim Ott a little bit slow down the front straightaway. Not sure if maybe Ott missed pit road or what happened, but not sure if maybe he got loose. But yeah, that 4 car was way slow down the front straightaway. We'll lose a little bit of time to Jeff Pogo. And yeah, Ott must have just got that thing out of sorts, because down here in the front straightaway, he was already down to, 118. Whereas normally you're about $120, $130. So far, 7 cars yet to pit. That, of course, is our current top 7. As now make it 6 as the 30 machine will dive to pit road here. Looks like safely down and away. Looks like the only car with a pit road penalty was the 24 machine. Everyone else able to get down and away safely so far. But we still have 6 drivers yet to pit under the green flag here. Devin McCaffrey here in the 29 machine able to get one of those laps back. So that will put him 1 lap down, eligible for the wave round if we do get a caution before our race leader here, Jim Ott, will take it. Some more drivers down on pit road, a little bit of smoke out of the right front from the 1 car. Brandon Guerin able to get it down safely. Same with Tyler Bellinger. So those 2 will come down here on lap 115. Now that only leaves 4 cars yet to pit. Pogo, Easley, and Holdcroft. So both these cars safely to their pit boxes here as we take a look. Now only 2 cars from the 41 cycle have yet to pit. That being Jeff Pogo as well as Kip Easley. How much longer will those drivers stay on out? Because right now Kip Easley's in a 25, looks like a 25.15 from the 8, no, a 25.29, whereas Jeff Pogo's a 24.91. Drivers on the new tires anywhere from a 23.1 to a 23.8. As we see Kip Easley down on pit road, Jeff Pogo already there. So those guys will leave about a 70 lap sprint to the finish on this next set of tires, as both Pogo, Easley, and Holdcroft down this time by. So all those drivers down on pit lane. That only leads now 1 driver left. One of the few drivers to fill on up and take tires on 68. It is Jim Ott. Ott had the pace advantage with the tires all kind of since the restart after our second caution, but now the tides turn. Now Jim Ott at a tire disadvantage, had about 5 seconds, so can give up about 5 laps to Jeff Pogo if he wants, but like we've seen tires be such an advantage, he can still have a chance then to flip it back on its head, have the advantage over his teammate of Jeff Pogo, and see what he can do. Rob Lowell and Johnny Barker here starting to duke it on out. These guys would be probably our race leaders once Jim Ott decides to pit here tonight, as Barker about a 5 lap tire disadvantage from his teammate Rob Lowell, as Lowell though gets a mirror full of some lap traffic cars trying to get a lap back, that being the 5 as well as the 3 car. As Rob Lowell will try and get around his teammate here on the front straightaway. Right behind them, Tim Rogers able to get around Seth Morrison. That was a battle for position as well. Could be the lucky dog candidate once Jim Ott pits. So a big battle there between the 3 and the 5. Rob Lowell will take over what will be the race lead here, as Tim Rogers able to get on around, same with the 5 car. So Johnny Barker still dealing with maybe a little bit ill handling race car here, as now Devin McCaffrey will try and get on by. This is for position as well. McCaffrey able to keep the momentum rocking and rolling up in lane number 2 here, so he will slap by the 6 machine. And about 4 seconds back, Jeff Pogo sits about a 20 lap tire advantage to the 97 machine. Last time by was about a half a second quicker than those cars in front of him. So Jeff Pogo, as long as he has time on his side, he is looking pretty sporty here. Once again, battle back for that lucky dog spot as Seth Morrison and Tim Rogers continue to duke it on out. Morrison able to get the spot back. So now they have to be careful because now here comes the 29 machine of Devin McCaffrey. That he's a lap ahead of him. Then the 88 of Dan Holcroft. He's on the freshest tires of all three, and he's for position as well. So the 88 machine gonna try and get those two positions, gonna be able to do that. So Holcroft back into the top 10 here tonight. Gonna try and get around those next few cars in front of him. Try and get back on what will be the lead lap once Jim Ott decides to pull it on down pit road. And it seems like Ott still gonna continue to click off the laps here. He should be able to go right around 137 or so. Then he'll have to come down pit road. Kip easily able to get around Connor Patton, so a tire disadvantage there for the 37 machine. About 7 laps separating the two of them, so easily able to get on by, but then easily has a long way to go to Johnny Barker, almost 8 seconds out in front. You can see that's almost a half a track here. So Devin McCaffrey was able to get around Rob Lowe. He will take over what will be the race lead here once Jim Ott decides to come on down. Rob Lowe, though, getting hunted down now by Jeff Pogo. Pogo has, like I said, almost a 20-lap tire advantage than the 21 machine. So here goes Pogo, going to stick it down to the bottom side. Going to be able to carry a lot of speed there in the 97 machine. And Jeff Pogo out back to P number 3. Everyone that has pitted should be pretty close to making it to the end. The only drivers that maybe couldn't make it is the 21 machine and the 6. Like I said, those drivers might be opting for a 2 pit stop strategy and try and make it up by just pushing as much as they can each and every time they take tires. But out in front once again here at the midway point of a race, Jim Ott leading the way here. So like I said, we'll keep the camera on Jim Ott. No one else really battling for position at the moment. Next 5 for sure, next 10 laps. At some point we should see the 4 car down on pit road to complete the cycle of green flag pit stops. Battle for position. We seen this same song and dance here tonight. Connor Patton and Tyler Bellinger currently side by side once again out on the speedway. Looks like Bellinger able to get on around here, so move the 99 machine back up to P number 7. Hasn't been up into the top 5 since getting spun from P number 3 earlier in this race. As Jeff Pogo able to get around the 29 machine, about a 10 lap tire advantage to Pogo with that. So Pogo will take over the point to Jim Ott. Total time on pit road about 45 seconds. Jim Ott about 30 seconds out in front. So Ott will come down to pit road this time by here on the start of 138. And I think by the time he gets back out on Speedway, he'll have to run down about a 15-second deficit to Jeff Pogo. But Jim Ott will have about 20 lap newer tires, so it's going to be really interesting to see how Ott can get through this field, because here comes Jeff Pogo off of turn number 4. He is at full song out on the Speedway. Should be able to get by Ott very cleanly. The question is, will Ott come out in front of the 21 machine? Left side's down and away. The 4 car will go here on the Speedway. Looks like will come out even behind Kip easily. So like I said, it should be about a 15-second advantage to Jeff Pogo, but Ott has by far the best tires out on the Speedway. Ott about 11 seconds back when all things said and done. So now here comes Jim Ott on the prowl. He's going to be in full attack mode from here on out, as Ott will make quick work here of the 99 machine. And now we'll try and erase a 10-second disadvantage here in the last about 40 laps or so here tonight. Kip easily trying to work over Johnny Barker. This would be a battle for the 4th position here out on the Speedway. Easy going to make it look pretty easy right there. He will now try and track down the teammate of the 6th. Next car in front of the 8th, the 21 machine of Rob Lowell. Lowell, of course, having a little bit of lap traffic right in front of him here. Seth Morrison, currently our lucky dog candidate. No, actually not. It is, oh yeah, just kidding. I had it right the first time. Seth Morrison, currently our first driver, 1 lap down. Other drivers 1 lap down, Tim Rogers and Caton as well. Everyone else out of the race, Raposa, Tatro, Meadows, and Proger. Jim Ott able to get up into the top 5 here. Makes quick work of Johnny Barker, now trying to get around his teammate of Tim Rogers. Rogers will stay up and out of the way, so Jim Ott last time by a 23.59 even in traffic. Best time everyone else. Jeff Pogo, a 24.11, cars in front of him, about 24.5. So Jim Ott about a second faster than the cars in front of him. Once again, going to make quick work from the 8 cars. So Ott is on a mission. Once again, going to look like another podium finish for the 4 machine. Does he have enough time to run down our race leader, though? Rob Lowell will stay up and out of the way. Some good sportsmanship there as Ott able to get around both of those cars. Ott's not getting held up by anyone so far. That is not what Jeff Pogo wants to see. As Kip easily able to get around Rob Lowell as they go 3 wide for a second there. Seth Morrison way up against the wall. It looks like he will be able to keep that car rolling. More importantly, stay in front of that 3 car of Rogers. Those two going to be the 2 battling for that lucky dog spot if we do get a late race caution in this one. As that might not be the case, as Dan Holcroft now goes a lap down. So now it is the 88 of Holcroft going to be the lucky dog candidate. Tyler Bellinger able to run down Johnny Barker with that right front nose damage. So the 99 machine going to peek to the inside of the 6. Those two will go side by side through 1 and 2 here. Bellinger able to get to the loud pedal before the 6, and he will get around the 6 car for P number 6. Out in front, though, it is Jeff Pogo leading the way here tonight. Devin McCaffrey currently running in that 2nd position. McCaffrey didn't quite have the race he wanted to last week at Charlotte, involved in an incident kind of later on in the race. Here tonight, having himself a great rebound up in P number 2, might be P number 3, because here comes Jim Ott with those fresh tires. Ott already within 3 seconds of Jeff Pogo, so as long as it goes green to the end, I think Jim Ott is going to win this race here tonight. Has a little bit of lap traffic between him and our race leader, both the 30 and the 88, but as long as Ott continues this pace, he will be there by the end of this one. I believe we have a helmet cam here with Jim Ott, so with these fresh tires here, let's take a look and see how Jim Ott is driving this Iowa Speedway late in this one, trying to run down our race leader that you can now see out in front of him. It's the next car out in front, so Jim Ott has the Jaws music playing. Wow, I tell you what, a lot happened there, and apparently my mic was off for half of it. So, yeah, we saw Tyler Bellinger down on the apron there, and it looked like he had some sort of issue with his wheel. It looked like he had no steering input, just kind of drove it to that inside wall. Luckily, didn't cause a caution. And then, of course, Johnny Barker down on pit road. He was the one that I had a question about if he had enough to make it to the end. And same with his teammate Rob Lowe. So those two down on pit road late in this one. Jim Ott with now 25 laps left to go in this one, and some, yeah, like I said, tough break to Bellinger there. Was able to get up into the top 5 once again, and then it looked like to me a wheel disconnect there. That car just lazily goes to the inside wall. Had no steering input to keep it off that outside wall. As Brandon Guerin, Connor Patton starting to duke it out a little bit out on track. So the 37 machine able to run down the one just a little bit. This could be a battle for position before it's all said and done. I believe for sure Jim Ott has enough to make it to the end. The question is, does Jeff Pogo, Kip Easley, Brandon Guerin, Connor Patton have enough? Patton last down on 110. Does he have enough to stretch it to the finish in this one? Looks like the 30 machine of Aruba Caton down on pit road as well. Rob Lowe, heartbreak on pit road. I think got busted maybe for speeding, as he had an extended time down on pit road. So a heartbreak for the 21 machine, as he now sees him about 4 laps down in this one, as he was definitely looking for a top 10 finish, and that may be now very, very tough to come by before it's all said and done. So now we have 5 cars done and out of the race here tonight. As Brandon Guerin able to give himself a little bit more breathing room to Connor Patton. So we'll go back to that battle if it heats on up. But that time by for Jim Ott. It is a full set of fingers and toes here at Iowa. It is 20 to go. Jim Ott was oh so close last week at Charlotte. Would have probably won the race if we didn't get a late caution. Here tonight, it is looking very similar here. Jim Ott looking for his second career victory. And man, what a job it would be to be able to beat his teammate Jeff Pogo and make this strategy that came up oh so close last week at Charlotte make it work here tonight at Iowa. Connor Patton now under fire from some cars a lap down out here on the Speedway. So it looks like Brandon Guerin able to get on by and try and drive on away to yet another top 5 finish this season. I think for Jim Ott, it's going to have to really come down to a single car incident to draw a caution flag before it's all said and done, as he is just hoping for this race to go clean and green. That is what the 4 car needs from here on out, as it is now 16 to go here at the stripe. Last time by the 21 and the 6, both flying out on the Speedway here. Johnny Barker, the only, well, I should say the best running car 2 laps down, is going to have to really get on after it to try and get his lap back before the end of this one, because Jim Ott just hitting the start-finish line. Then Johnny Barker, of course, just getting off of turn number 4 there. We see Dan Holcroft here with 15 to go down on pit road here. So Holdcroft will give up that lead lap running position and have to come on down. We'll see if the 88 decides to take 4 tires here, maybe just fill it up with fuel. It looks like at least right side's going on up here for that 88 machine. Left side's going up as well. So that will put the 88 machine pretty far down here on the standings, as Jim Ott will go around him another time. So now that leaves just 5 cars out here on the lead lap. Do those 5 cars have enough to make it to the end of this one? It is now going to be 12 laps to go here at the stripe. The best car that has already came down pit road, Devin McCaffrey. McCaffrey currently sits 1 lap down, about a quarter of a track back from our race leader, so probably won't race his way around to the lead lap. But if anything crazy happens here at the end, McCaffrey is in that lucky dog spot to get back on the lead lap here. That time by for our race leader, Jim Ott. 2 open palms from the flagman now. Now we go to 10 to go next time by. It will be single digits laps left in this one. So 187 now turn to about 178 this time by. As it looks like Johnny Barker will get one of these laps back, and that would be big if we get a caution late in this one, because he could take the wave around and be back on the lead lap in case of any green-white checkered. But the guy that does not want to see a caution, our race leader, Jim Ott. And I tell you what, last time by, Ott, of course, very slow running the top side. Jeff Pogo is starting to track down our race leader just a little bit, so maybe Jim Ott used up his stuff a little bit too much there to try and get on up to Pogo, as Pogo's starting to reel him on in, but now has some pressure from a lap down car. The 29 machine of McCaffrey going to try and get on by here quickly. Will do that, so Pogo now will fall in line, try and run down our race leader, but it's going to have to be a mighty pace to run down this race leader, with now going to be 6 laps to go here at the stripe. So last time by, give the advantage to Jim Ott there, so Ott definitely has the pace when he has some clean racetrack out here. It looks like Pogo may be going to be dealing with some more lap cars with some better pace, as now it is now 5 laps to go left in this one. Pogo easily, Guerin and Patton are top 5. Man, I tell you what, if Connor Patton can nurse this thing on home, he would walk away with his first ever top 5 finish. Last pitted on 110, so he has definitely pitted a long time ago, and if he can nurse this thing on to the end, it would be an impressive fuel mileage race from this driver. Has to nurse it on back for now 4 more times around. Really no racing, no one else on his same lap here, so just has to keep this car rolling in the right direction, make sure it doesn't run out before the end of this one, as Jim Ott may throw Patton 1 lap down here before it's all said and done. Currently the next car in front of him is that 37, as this time by for Jim Ott, popsicle sticks up in the air. It is 2 to go here at Iowa. Jim Ott definitely has the luxury just to ride behind the 37, doesn't have to push the issue whatsoever because about a 3-second advantage over Jeff Pogo. But here we go, this time by Jim Ott. We'll see the white flag, doesn't have to worry about a caution as we have one to go here at Iowa. Deeper in the field, Dan Holcroft able to get around Tim Rogers here on the final lap for that 9th position. Dan McCaffrey just gonna not have enough time to run down the 37 of Connor Patton because off of turn number 4, Jim Ott will win career win number 2, his first of season 6. Jeff Pogo will round out our 2nd place finisher. Kip Easley will bring it home in P number 3. Brandon Guerin looks like will be on for a 4th place finish. And Connor Patton, a career best night here tonight. He will round out the top 5 here from Iowa. But here we go. The top 2 are the same as last week, just in a different order tonight here. Jim Ott will pick up the win here at Iowa. And don't go anywhere, folks, because after this celebration from Jim Ott, we will be talking with our top 3 finishers in our post-race show. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back here with our post-race show from Iowa.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we are back here at Iowa Speedway, and we'll be chatting with our 3rd place finisher first. Looks like he is up and out of the car. It will be the driver of the 8 machine. It will be Kip Easley here tonight. Kip, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, how we feeling after 187 laps here at Iowa?
Well, I feel pretty good. I'm real happy with the overall 3rd place. Obviously, I really enjoy the track. It's a challenging track. This is the first time I've ran here since the update, so it's nice and smooth in the corners.
Yeah, that it is. 1 and 2 definitely not as bumpy down low, and a little bit more kind of advantage to the top side if you could hit those seams right. But man, it seemed like it really abused those tires if you had to go up to the top side. Did you notice that here tonight?
Yeah, I did. I mean, tire wear was premium tonight. Really, whatever line you were running, you had to really be easy on them, in my opinion. But and it was really hard to pass. You couldn't get on the throttle, heavy enough on the bottom. You almost had to be on the high side to get around them until tire wear come into play.
Yeah, and I tell you what, you guys used up these tires here to the finish. Last pitted on 110. How much fuel did you have left in the tank here to the checkered flag?
I didn't see. I was pretty good on fuel though. I still had when I came in on lap 110, I think it was. I still had 25 or 30 laps in the tank at that moment, so I didn't even take a full tank. So I was pretty good on fuel. What I was in trouble with was tires. I was really nervous running that long because when I went 76 laps on the that one run there, when I was coming into pit road, I got the meatball because my right front was at zero.
Whew, you definitely used that right front on up, but how was the car feeling that second run? Because I assume that second run, I should say, definitely tight. How was it feeling then that third and final run?
It felt really good, and it's wild that to me that how much the tires do wear and how stable the car still is, and it's really kind of deceiving for me tonight to know really what my tire wear was, because to me the car felt really good, even with 50 or 60% tire life in the car. That last run was actually pretty good. I felt like I ran really hard, but on that 68 lap run there, I was still, I was like 40 on that one. So I still had some tire left on it, but it still felt pretty good.
Yeah, that it was. And yeah, a great finish for you here tonight, Kip. Finally able to kind of get a deserving one here as you get another P number three. Last one coming at New Hampshire, another kind of tough track. So, man, it seems like a challenging track, a lot of tire wear. This A car really shines.
Well, I'd like to think so. I wouldn't say it's my strength by any means, but it's something I've been trying to put in a little work on because I felt like it's been a struggle. Trying to it's an art for sure, trying to figure out how to save tires, and the guys that do it the best a lot of times are the guys that are winning the races.
Yeah, that it is. And here tonight, Kip, you're up with some of the best of them up here on the podium. Beat a lot of good drivers, and yeah, we finally started clicking off some long green flag runs. How are we feeling about that? And is that gonna come into kind of some game plan here with Jim Ott with this kind of alternate strategy call, picking up the win?
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think that strategy comes into play, and that's something that's kind of caught me the last couple of races, because I've played a different strategy, and it's kind of come back to bite me to where instead of finishing maybe fifth or sixth, I've finished 10th or something like that. So I definitely think you're going to see the people that are really good with strategy come into play. Um, and on these long green flag runs, you're going to really be able to see that, but it's just hard to know if they're gonna, if they're gonna end up being stretched out. This race felt like it was gonna get stretched out like that, and obviously, we had some really good green flag runs, which is good because you're able to get into a rhythm, and it's a lot of fun when you can get like that. They tick off pretty quick too.
Yeah, that they do. 187 laps seemed like a lot here tonight, but this race, once it got rocking and rolling, flew on by. And next week we head to Kentucky Speedway, retired on the actual Cup schedule, but here on iRacing it still lives on. How are you feeling about that place?
I enjoy Kentucky. I hate that it's not on the Cup schedule anymore. Just actually ran there in a couple other leagues the last couple weeks, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not saying I'm going to win by any means, but hopefully we can pull in and get a top five in there, and and have a solid run to just continue to keep moving up in the point standings.
Yeah, that will hopefully be the case, Kip, because yeah, right now you said third in points. We'll make up some ground to Cody Meadows up in front of you. So a good point night here tonight from Iowa. We'll see what happens at Kentucky. But Kip, before we let you go and celebrate a podium finish once again this season, we're gonna go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to to give a shout out to here.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to you, obviously, putting on the broadcast and taking your time. You do great with it. That's a great broadcast. I enjoy going back and watching it. The league admin, obviously, it's a really good league. I enjoy this. I enjoy kind of the throwback feel and the new feel kind of combined. And then my team, Daniel and Chris and Kevin, he wasn't in tonight, but, those guys, a lot of strategy conversation and just good fellowship, really. It's always a good time with that. And then obviously I want to thank my family for letting me do this. Couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, awesome stuff there, Kip. And once again, congrats on the third place finisher. And thank you for spending your Sunday nights to put on the show that all of us get to enjoy. So, Kip, you yourself have a great one here, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again in the future.
Absolutely. Have a good night. Thank you.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our third place finisher, Kip Easley. Now we'll head up to our runner-up finisher, the guy that was looking for 2 in a row. Will end up P number 2. It is the 97 of Jeff Pogo. Jeff, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, buddy, I got you.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, how we feeling after 187 laps at Iowa?
It feels good, man. I like it. P2, I'll take it. Teammate 1, so dominated again tonight, just like we did last week. So it's a good night for the team.
Yeah, and I tell you what, a very similar feel kind of strategy-wise for this race. Had a few early cautions. Jim Ott goes on the alternate strategy. You stay on the main. Ott, of course, leads at the halfway point. You lead at the beginning. But the difference here tonight, no late race caution.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it. Me and Jim, we've raced each other for a couple years now. And like he was just saying, he's like, I always enjoyed racing you. You're clean, respectful, but you're a pain in the ass to get around because, you run the same lines I do. We drive the same way. And then we were just talking during the race, like, someone's got to do a little bit different strategy or something in order, because if he's running the same pace as me or I'm running the same pace as him, I'm not going to beat him doing the same thing. So we got to do something different. And it paid off for Jim. So congrats to him.
Yep, last week it paid off for you having that kind of extra tire set later. Here tonight it pays off for Jim Ott. And I thought he was going to come out further behind you on pit road. And I tell you what, it was impressive to see the tire advantage here tonight. Did you know it was going to be that big?
I didn't actually, and neither did Jim, because we didn't practice at all up until practice opened tonight. So really the first, I don't know, quarter of the race was just kind of feeling it out and seeing what it was going to do. And then when he pit before us and we stayed out, we saw how quick he got to the front, so we knew it was a big deal. So kind of learned something there. But I was going to go in with him, but I didn't want to burn another set of tires because it looked like we were having, 2 cautions in 70 laps. I was like, well, we're going to run out of tires if we keep this up. So I figured I'd stay out, keep set and hope for a caution. Never got it. But, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, able to hang on to an impressive P number 2, you and Jim Ott. Definitely the class of the field once again. And yeah, man, besides a caution, was there anything else you probably needed? Probably not, right?
No, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't really want a caution because then you run the risk of, me and Jim starting 1-2 side by side, racing into the corner. Someone could try to dive us and take us all out, or we could end up wrecking each other. So I'd rather finish second to Jim than risk a restart and wrecking everybody.
Yeah, and I tell you what, with that, of course, another good points finish for you, our current points leader. So you will step on out with an even bigger advantage heading into Kentucky next week. I know people either love that place or hate that place. How are you feeling about it?
I don't hate it, so I'd expect a pretty good run there too. So I'll be honest, I looked at the results of this race last season and I finished P2 there again. So I like this track. I don't like this half-ass, as Jim calls it, Kmart repave. I wish they'd have done the whole track or left it alone, but I don't know. Feel good for next week, and we'll keep the momentum going. Hopefully the team will keep going, and Brandon can get one more spot, and we can lock out the top 3 on the podium. Would be nice.
Yeah, that looking very good to do as, 3 out of the 4 Hoonigan racing cars up there in the top 5. That's got to feel pretty good for your team as well.
Yeah, not too bad. Mr. Excitement back there in 10th. We told him, it's all right. Every team's got to have a Bubba Wallace, so he's okay back there.
That he is. He's out there having fun, and I'm sure maybe not the most fun here tonight. I'm sure that right front was probably toast on the 3 machine.
Yeah, I don't think he was having a good time. He, when he joined the team, I thought for sure, I was like, man, he's either going to be as fast as me or faster. But I know he's been off the sim a while, and these cars have kind of a dead feeling in the front end. So we were just talking earlier. He was just saying, he's got to get some seat time, get to learn how this car drives, and then I'd expect him to be right up there with me, Brandon, and Jim for sure.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I was chatting about it with some buddies here before, actually this weekend, and I said, man, remember back in the day we all hated the Gen 6 car, and then we got this next gen car, and just like everything in racing, right? It's like, man, I wish we could go back to those cars.
You know what? We've said the same thing, and it was funny before the race started. Tim was reminiscing on the Watkins Glen and that ARCA league that we ran. Where me, you, and him were running 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And we all got destroyed, running nose to tail going into the bus stop by a lapper. But I don't know. It's just fun to race fast guys and clean guys, and there's a lot of them in this group, and it's just fun every week.
Yeah, that it is. You guys put on a great show. And yeah, Jeff, we could be chatting all night long, but I figure we'll let you get rocking and rolling. So before we let you go and celebrate the P number 2 and keep on a podium finish streak here tonight at Iowa, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout out to on the broadcast here.
Let's just go with teammates here first off, kind of relaying some information throughout the race, what we feel, what we're changing. Just the team's done good so far. The 4 of us work pretty well together, talking about what line works best, the air, where it's affecting you the most, and what you can do to maximize the car. So just keep the streak up. Appreciate everybody putting on the league and Rob, Brandon, you broadcasted, and we'll just keep the momentum running. Congrats to Jim on his win. He's going to be hungry for more now, so that's going to be trouble.
Yeah, that it is. Picking up career win number 2. Usually the second one's always the hardest, so the field better watch out from here on out, right?
That's right.
All righty. Well, awesome stuff, Jeff. Thanks again for spending your Sunday nights with us. And you, my man, have a great rest of the night. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the future.
See you, buddy.
All righty. Awesome stuff. That was our second place finisher, Jeff Pogo. And now we'll talk to the man of the hour down in victory lane. It is the 4 machine of Jim. Jim, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
I got you, Brett.
All righty, man. First and foremost, how we feeling down in victory lane after 187 laps at Iowa?
Pretty awesome, man. That was a fun race, and finally took care of business tonight, and one spot better than last week. So awesome.
Yeah, that it was. And I tell you what, you took care of business. Unlike last week, I was talking about even in the broadcast how similar this race felt from Charlotte. The only difference tonight, no late race yellow for you. You're able to get the job done.
Yeah, I was banking on that strategy for that not to happen. So I don't think I had the best car tonight. I think Jeff did, but I definitely had the best strategy. So paid dividends, and we got in victory lane. So pretty awesome.
Yeah, that it is. And I was blown away at the pace with those that you're able to run, taking those tires, 20 lap tire advantage, but man, you erased a 11-second lead, it seemed like, in about 20 laps or less.
Yeah, the fall off was pretty detrimental tonight, and it had a green flag, just feel for it after that second caution. And we talked about pitting or not, and honestly, I knew Jeff had the speed, and I just wanted to do something different. And sure enough, we ended up getting that long run. And honestly, I just managed my tires in there, during that run, and yeah, it paid dividends. And I knew I had the pace just do it one more time with about 50 to go, and I caught him a lot quicker than I thought. So but yeah, just an awesome job tonight.
Yeah, that it was. And I got to give the field props because it seemed like you really didn't get held up until you had to try and get around your teammate, Jeff Pogo. I'm sure, racing your teammate, you got to take a little bit extra precaution. And he doesn't make it easy to get around him, but you're able to do that. And man, check on out from there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, of course we're going to race clean, and Jeff and I are going to do what we need to do. But he knew, with the tire advantage that it's really nothing you could do. I mean, I could have went to the top and made the pass, but it's just simply it was just better tires, But if it was same strategy, him and I, it would have been very, very difficult to pass him. So just the strategy tonight, that's what got me here.
Yeah, and I tell you what, a great night for you. Great points night as well, as you'll be able to close the gap to Kip easily and Cody Meadows. So you'll be in a pretty intense race for second in points, leaving here and heading to Kentucky. How you feeling about that place, as well as the points continue to shake on out as they are?
Well, hopefully, I'm finally keeping the nose clean, staying out of trouble, getting these good finishes, great finishes. Kentucky, that's one kind of tailored to my driving style. So it's been a while since I've been there, but I really do enjoy the track. Um, obviously my Jeff's going to be great there, and I think Brandon's going to do well as himself. So should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that it is. And I tell you what, Jim, you are on a hot streak here. This is now your third consecutive top 5 finish, as well as, the second consecutive up on the podium. So, yeah, man, you're coming on strong here in the middle part of the season. And I tell you what, like you said, if you're good at Kentucky, this field better watch out. You're on a roll.
Yeah, we'll see if we can keep carrying this momentum. But yeah, it's fun. It's I've been I've been dealing with the struggles, and it's finally nice to be on this side of things.
Yeah, that it is. It definitely makes the tough times a little bit better. It never gets, always good, but it makes them a little bit better when you have those frustrating races to go out and have some great races like tonight.
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does.
Alrighty, awesome stuff, Jim. Well, my man down in victory lane, career win number 2. So a lot of people like to say the second career win's always the toughest because then you can just keep on adding from there. Hopefully that'll be the case for you, my man. How are we feeling about that as well?
I didn't even know Brett, honestly, so I wasn't thinking about it, but it was tough getting here. So um, it definitely feels great, though.
Yeah, that it does, and you'll have your momentum on your side here. A great couple weeks, great night here tonight, as Jim, you're able to pick up the win, get career win number 2, first win on the season, and yeah, I tell you what, going to be a force to be reckoned with. So, Jim, before we let you go and celebrate down in victory lane, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether teammates, sponsors, or anyone else you like to give a shout out to here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, tonight was, I appreciate the teammates, Jeff and Brandon and Tim. Um, Jeff kind of got me through this one tonight. I'm not gonna lie, his line was so much better than mine that I had to adapt to it. So we did a little bit of teammate communication. So hats off to him. Appreciate what he does for us and myself. And then you, man, I love these broadcasts. My family does. They're watching right now. So really cool. My wife and kiddo, they love watching. So appreciate them. And then of course Rob and all the admins for putting on the league. So I really appreciate everything.
Awesome stuff. And Jim, we appreciate you spending your Sunday nights to put on the show that all of us get to enjoy. So you, my man, have yourself a great rest of the night. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the near future. And once again, Jim, congrats on career win number 2 here tonight.
All right. Thank you so much, Brett. We'll see you next week.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our race winner, Jim Ott, getting the job done here at Iowa Speedway. So let's head on trackside to go through tonight's race results. So Jim Ott here will pick up career win number 2. Jeff Pogo in the 97 machine will add on to his points advantage with a second finish here tonight. I should say a P number 2 finish. Kip Easley will round out the podium in P number 3. Brandon Guerin will bring it home in 4th. And Connor Patton with a career best finish. He will finish in 5th. Devin McCaffrey will bring it home 6th, 7th going to Johnny Barker. 8th is Seth Morrison. Dan Holcroft able to get a pass on the last lap for 9th, and Tim Rogers will round out the top 10. Rob Lowe will finish 11th, 12th going to Reba Caton. 13th is our first retiree. That would be Tyler Bellinger. Seemed like had some sort of wheel disconnect there. Eli Raposa will finish 14th, 15th going to Aiden Tatro. 16th is Cody Meadows. And 17th here tonight, tough break for him. It was Chris Proger. So that would do it here tonight from Iowa. We got to thank each and every one of you viewers, whether live or replay. I appreciate each and every click. So, yeah, that would do it. We'll be back live here next Sunday night as the 802 Winston Cup Series gets ready to take on Kentucky Speedway. We, of course, got to thank all the sponsors and partners here at the 802 iRacing League, that being BG Graphix, Riptide Radio, GStone Motorsports, as well as Stone, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. And yeah, that would do it here for myself here tonight. So thanks again to all the racers putting on the show, the admins, and everything else with the 802 iRacing League. And that would do it for me here tonight. Also, Turn 3 is partnered with Premier Setup Shops. You can find out more about them with a link in the description. Even if you don't want to buy anything, a click would go a long way and would be greatly appreciated from myself. So that would do it here tonight. Be sure to tune in next Sunday as these drivers get ready for race, I believe it is race number 10 at Kentucky Speedway. So everyone take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week. And I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.